France should win this, shouldn't they?
They should, but they would have to prove it. I mean, the group is tough. I think you have to respect all the other teams. And if you are superior, better than them, you would have to prove it. And the margin is very thin. What we see during friendly games brings some infos about how the teams are doing right now, but it's going to be completely different. I mean, the first day of the first game of the tournament, the atmosphere will shift to something else, and it's how it makes the difference between, you know, teams who are not that experienced that maybe some other team like France or maybe the Netherlands as well. So it's going to be tricky. They will have to play very good, and especially the first two games, to maybe give some break to the first 11 and give some games to the substitute and rest the others for the last 16. So yeah, France should win, but again, when I see, you know, the Netherlands beating Iceland, which just beat England, yeah, if you consider that, you would say that it's going to be very tough. But the tournament will be different. So let's see how it works on the first game and see games after games.
I imagine, Frank, expectation in France is that they're not only going to win this group, but the whole tournament.
Yes, it is. With all respect to the others, because you know that England can win, that Portugal can win, maybe the Netherlands can win, and of course, I forgot Germany playing at home. But yeah, the expectation is high, and everybody would love to see France winning, especially after the last European Championship, where they been kicked out on the quarterfinal against the Switzerland. So we want a revenge. We want something better. We at least want a final, and if we want to have a final, we want to win.
You look at it on paper, this team is pretty much head and shoulders above everyone else, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've been doing previews of the Euros and the groups and the teams that should be the favorites. And for all the teams that we have talked about, yeah, you see the reasons as to why they could win it, but you also see the reasons as to why maybe they're going to come up short. With France, you really have to dig for reasons as to why they're not going to win it.
Yeah.
It's far easier to come up with all sorts of reasons and arguments as to why they should be the team that are the favorites, that they should win this competition. They have strength in every line. They are a very strong team in the back line. Perhaps if I were to point out an area where maybe they come up a little short, and at this point I'm just... Look, I'm being picky. Maybe in the midfield, maybe that's an area that perhaps you can take advantage of France, but that's really not quite the case, because if it is Camavinga and if it is Kante, then, and you imagine that Antoine Griezmann is going to drop in a little deeper as well, then look, honestly, line by line, France is stronger than everybody else in this competition. And so, if they play to the highest level possible, if they play to their very best, France should win the Euros. Anything other than that, I think, should be considered a failure.
What's interesting, Frank, when you take a look at that graphic, is that we have waxed lyrical about Saliba over the last couple of years for Arsenal. He's been exceptional, arguably one of the best defenders in the Premier League. And at the opposite, over the last year, we've done nothing but criticise Upamecano and his performances for Bayern Munich. Why does Didier Deschamps see it different pretty much to everyone else?
I would love to have the answer, because I'm like you, I'm a big fan of Saliba, and I recognize, like you, that, according to what we saw throughout the season, Saliba has been tremendous all season long, comparing to Upamecano that struggle at some point. And yes, it's a question mark. Saliba tried to answer, saying that he's not at his best. He doesn't consider him as one of the best defender in England, but he's ready to fight and get maybe a position under Deschamps. I think a position that he deserves. But we are not with Didier Deschamps. Maybe, there is a difference between belonging to one of the best clubs in the world and being an international player. At some time, it happened to me, where I was feeling a little bit shaky playing for my country. So you feel more comfortable, more secure playing with your club, and when suddenly you have to play for your country, it's a little bit harder. And it's hard to get that bigger level and give the best. So I didn't see Saliba at his best, but for me, it's enough to consider that he should be in the first 11. And I just want to say something about France. As every time France has been the favorites of a competition, it mostly has been a disaster. So it's why we are, won't say humble, because for French people it doesn't exist, but we are a bit concerned, let's say, and let's see how it works.
Mario, you're agreeing there with Frank, what he was saying about Saliba?
Yeah, because look, he came out also. What he said was really crucial for me. When he came out, he said, if a coach talks to me or talks about me, and I think all the guys we're on the show and we're talking about it, but we hate it when coaches leave us out or have a go at us or tell us certain things. But if he doesn't say anything to us, that's when the real problem comes. So he made that comment and he said, at least he's talking to me. And I understand that he wasn't always happy with him. But hey, in England, he did great. But what Frank said, the shirt of your nation is a different feeling, guys. When you put that on, and I think the players only play well when you don't care. You don't watch the jersey, but you just watch about, I want to win. When you have that confidence in you, then you play a great game for your nation. But when you start thinking about it, that's when real pressure comes on, and then you don't perform as well as you want.
Did the Scotland shirt have a different weight to Liverpool?
Yeah, a lot heavier. Do you know, I was thinking, when I was listening to Ali, I was agreeing with him that you're actually trying to find reasons that France will fail. Well, I think we've just kind of hit on one. Is it going to be Deschamps? Is he going to be the reason?
Right.
Because, as we've all said, there's not one of us who would play a Upamecano before Saliba.
As a coach, are you just going with someone that you know can perform at this international level, and you don't want to roll the dice?
It's stubbornness. There has to be some sort of stubbornness in a coach where you're picking a player who has not on the field of play proven that he should be there. But you have something in your head that makes you think, and you can convince yourself of things. You know, maybe he thinks that he's a good foil for Konate. Maybe he thinks that Upamecano makes Konate better. And if I make Konate the greatest player in the world, then he's going to take care of any deficiencies that Upamecano might have. I mean, so again, that would be another reason why they might not win it. Maybe the manager. And I'm not talking about just one position. You know, maybe there's a player who, maybe Griezmann's having a shocker all the way through, but just, I can't drop him. I'm not going to drop him. And you end up getting knocked out because he doesn't contribute. So, again, the manager absolutely 100% can be the reason why you don't get through as well, not just the players.
Is there any concern about N'Golo Kante, obviously coming over from Saudi Arabia, Frank, that he might not be up to speed?
No, I mean, he's the exception to the rule. I will be against every other player playing for Qatar or Saudi Arabia. But him, I mean, he's N'Golo Kante. I mean, the guy is magical. He's crazy. He's in very good shape. He's ready for it. I barely saw the game because we had the election and no TV wanted to show the game. But I saw in the streaming, yeah, that was crazy. The first time that we couldn't see France playing even a friendly game. But because of the European elections. But I managed to saw most of the game. And N'Golo Kante was everywhere, like at his prime. And I believe that he's ready. So how he's going to handle it? And Tchouaméni is also almost ready to come back. So it's up to Deschamps. You know, we have to trust Didier. I mean, how many times Giroud has been criticized of not being, you know, or shouldn't have been in the squad, and he's been there and he scored goals, and at the end Deschamps was right. So I want to believe that he's still right. I want to believe it's for France. And it would be sad for Saliba, but it is what it is. He's every day with the players, so he knows more than us how it works. Will he be right? You know, I mean, the conclusion will say it all, and we'll see at the end of the tournament where France ended up, and we'll judge him.
Frank, you're here, aren't you, for the Euros? That'll be exciting for us. Are you here for as long as France are in the tournament, or you're here for the duration?
I'm here for the duration, and I will be in France for the group stages to make sure that France is at least in the last 16, and after I will come to bother you until the rest of the tournament. That's for sure.
Well, what a treat! I'll have my shorts ready for you. Meanwhile, Mario, we'll talk about the Netherlands, shall we, mate? What are the expectations around this team going into the tournament?
Look, the expectations are high. Why? Because we feel like we have some talent in the squad. The only downside, and I'm going to be honest to you, because today the news came out, that De Jong is not going to make it. Why? Because he was waiting to get fit into the team. He's one of the key figures in our team. You know, in the middle of the park, we have De Jong. The back, we have Virgil van Dijk. And then we have, you know, Memphis Depay up front. Okay. We know that in different tournaments before, they were highlighted too. But I think what I see in this team now, they calm going into the tournament. Doesn't mean like we were not calm before, but I feel like there's not so much talked about, because sometimes they talk so much, oh, this player and that player. I think there is more ease in the team, and now it comes down to not to focus on the individuals, but if they can do it as a team, then I'm not worried about them. That's what the key figure now is.
Looking at it, Mario, for people who don't follow the Dutch that closely, which player in particular should we keep an eye out for who could be the shining star for this side?
I mean, Frimpong. You know, I mean, like that's probably for the guys, you understand, we talk about a lot about German football. And I think Frimpong, the situation become now with him, with Dumfries. Why? Because both of them are really key now. Before that, it was just Dumfries on the right-hand side for us. Now they're talking about, can we play them both together and have Dumfries behind Frimpong? That's the discussion that's going now in Holland, to see if Koeman can do it. Because that is one of the things, like, we need another outlet. And on the right-hand side, we can play Gakpo, Simons or whatever, but I also want speed and the way he delivers the ball. He did it again today. The way he delivers the ball, he has just the direction of him is just, I want to get to the goal. I want to make someone score, or I score myself, and I like that in players.
Let me throw another name for you, Xavi Simons, a guy who had a really outstanding season for Leipzig and. Very creative player, in tight spaces, can create space for himself, can create space for others. And this would be the opportunity for Xavi Simons to then take his game to an entirely different level. Competitions like this and a stage like this can elevate you and kind of elevate your profile. Well, that's exactly what could happen to Xavi Simons. And they're going to need it because, and I know this sounds crazy, because the Netherlands just won the last 2 games by scoring 4 goals in each of those games. But scoring goals, I think, may be a problem for this team going into this competition. And where are those goals going to come from? And so are you depending on Memphis Depay to be that guy? There's got to be productivity from other places, including Frimpong, including Xavi Simons. And so the creativity of Xavi Simons is going to do a lot for this team in the final third. And if indeed he has a really good tournament, it means that the Netherlands are going far.
But obviously, no Frankie de Jong, a big blow, Mario.
Yeah, it's a big blow. And what Ali just said about Simons, you know, Simons had a lot of criticism towards him. Been going on for reasons, you understand, before now it calmed down, and that's why I totally agree with Ali. You know, what he does at Leipzig is incredible, but for the national team, it seems like he's always trying to, he wants to move forward and become more important for the team, and sometimes he plays against himself, regardless of the talent that he possesses, because he's an incredible talent. When it comes to Frankie de Jong, we know against, you know, we talked about that game here actually, against Real Madrid, with the tackle of Van Verde. And it was a moment where he wanted to win the ball and put everything in it. And Frankie went on the safe side. And that safe side kind of hurt him. He was hoping to get back, you understand, to make it to play the tournament. I had it myself too, when I made it to the Euros myself. An injury right before the Euros, oh my God, I'm telling you guys, you're running against the clock all the time and trying to make it. Fortunate, I made it, he didn't make it. Why? Sometimes you also got to make that choice and saying like, am I going to perform well or am I going to perform bad, but be on the field and trying my hardest, and then people are criticizing me and I'm not going to do what I want to do. So now he chose for his ankle and he went back to, he's going to plan to go back to Barcelona to fix it.
What's a successful tournament for the Netherlands, Mario?
The Netherlands is like everybody, you know. Can you do a surprise? Like I hear you talking about, okay, France. Of course, France is the ultimate team. But can you surprise them and push forward and being part of that journey and get yourself into the mix of like, even if you make it to, okay, a final or a semi-final, that a semi-final will probably be something like we go, yeah, well done. But hey, guys, football is not played to just go halfway. You play the game because you want to go all the way.
Let's take a look at the odds.
You see the names of the players. Sorry, you see the name of the players. Sorry, every line in that team. That's impressive. I mean, when you see at the back, you know, of course, Van Dijk, Ake. I don't know if Van de Ven is going to play. He was substitute today. He came on, but the names are incredible. And in the middle of the park, De Jong won't be there. But still, you have a real squad, and they are contenders for me. I mean, they have the pride of, and they're gonna play, and they have the quality. Most of the players they play in the best club in the world. So there is no reason why the Netherlands couldn't be one of the contenders. They proved today. We'll see.
Yeah, but you are the best one to tell us also about the experience. You know how football works, Frank. You understand? Sometimes it's not if you have one figure that does the change. If you can do it as a team, oh yeah, they as a team, because they look like they gelled really well. And Koeman did it before Van Gaal took over. He had a team that was solid together. Can he do it again? And as a team they perform? I totally agree with you, because as a team, if you all want to do the same job, you perform well. But if one just moves away from it, that's when all the jinxer drops and everything will be a failure.
Sound a bit condescending, to be honest, from Frank. But anyway, let's take a look at the odds, shall we, to win the tournament overall. Somehow England are favourites ahead of France. Frank, do you want France to win or do you want them to lose? Because obviously if France win, that's more people that have won international title, and then that dilutes the pool for you and the amount of money you can make as a World Cup winner making appearances.
No, it doesn't work that way in my mind, you know. It's been such a long time ago. I did it. We did the treble in 3 years. We are very happy. People, they love us, and it's going to stay like that until our last breath. So they can win, and we're happy for them. And it would be nice to win for Didier Deschamps and the guys, and we are 100% behind them. That's going to be nice if France can win again, because the players are fantastic, and it would be nice, because, you know, right now living in France is not that easy. So it will boost a little bit the population.
Well, exactly. And you leaving to come here for 2 weeks will boost it as well.